It was a hot night in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The air was still, cicadas buzzing, nothing more than suburban calm. Then came a trembling voice through a 911 line. 12-year-old Daniel Bever whispered, "My brother is attacking the family." Police would later say that faint phone call saved lives, but not all. Less than an hour later, 5 members of the Bever family were dead. One sister deleted by violence. A second lingered, wounded, in pain. And the youngest, 2-year-old Autumn, spared by fate that night. What emerged from that night was a portrait of planning, hatred, and ambition. Of 2 teenage brothers who dreamed infamy, who decided not just to kill their family, but to eclipse the darkest names in mass murder history. David Bever, 52, and April Bever, 44, had 6 children. They homeschooled in a secluded lifestyle, avoiding most outside interaction. Neighbors said the family kept to itself, rare playdates, few friends, minimal social media presence. Robert, the oldest, aged 18 at the time. Michael, 16. Crystal, Beamon, Daniel, 12. Christopher, 7. Victoria, 5. Autumn, Yao. To those who passed them in the grocery store, everything seemed normal. The Bever parents occasionally went shopping together. In summer, kids played outside, Halloween costumes, pool time. But inside the home, something else brewed. Robert collected body armor, glared at mass shootings. Michael followed. They studied violence online. They saved their money from jobs like call center work to buy blades, protective gear. Ammunition shipments arrived. Neighbors said hay landed trucks delivering packages, orders for bulletproof vests, gloves, all building blocks, all signals, but never enough concern, or so people say. Robert told investigators the murders were not impulsive. They were the culmination of months of planning. He and Michael assembled knives, hatchets, surgical blades. A hatchet, masks, a black vest, shin guards. Cameras positioned in the home. A flash drive holding plans, scripts, video drafts. They talked about stealing their parents' SUV afterward. He claimed they planned to kill random people after the family was murdered, perhaps to reach 50 victims, maybe more. He said they wanted 2 videos, one for prosecutors, one edited and clean for public display. An obsession with notoriety intertwined with hatred. Crystal Bever's testimony later revealed moments of fear in the days before. Seeing brothers trying on armor, arranging weapons, rubber banding knives, whispering. She asked, "Why are you doing this?" And Robert allegedly replied, "You know why." But to others, nothing concrete was spoken until that night. It was 11:30 p.m. Sleep had already settled over Magnolia Court. But inside 709, Magnolia, something unthinkable was brewing. A faint phone call, a shaky voice. 12-year-old Daniel Bever, pressed against fear and blood and panic, whispered into the 911 line, "My brother is attacking the family." Then silence. The line went dead. Dispatchers scrambled, traced the number to Magnolia Court. They tried calling back, no response. Voices on scene reports, a faint female voice. Crystal Bever, 13, injured, calling from inside. From outside the home, neighbors heard something. Whimpers, one, "Help me." But the porch light cast long shadows. Blood stains began to appear on the front steps. The scent of violence, already present, thickened in the still air. Inside the house, the plan unfolded violently. Crystal, awakened by noise, walked into the room where Michael had called for her. He asked her to see something on his computer. While she looked, Robert Bever struck her from behind, slitting her throat, then stabbing her abdomen and arms repeatedly. Crystal fell, crawling. She heard her mother April screaming from another room. She tried to protect Autumn upstairs, but the mayhem below was overwhelming. Meanwhile, Robert and Michael moved methodically. Victoria and Christopher, only 5 and 7, locked themselves in the bathroom, desperate for safety. Michael allegedly told them Robert would kill them if they did not open the door. When the door opened, both were dragged out, stabbed without mercy. Victoria suffered 23 wounds to her neck, chest, face, upper arm. Christopher, 21 to chest, back, shoulders. Their small bodies overwhelmed. Daniel, who made the 911 call, tried to hide in his father's office, locking the door. He cried through the phone, "Help!" Michael lured him by pretending to be harmed by Robert. Daniel opened the door. Robert stabbed him multiple times, at least 9 times according to some reports, in the back, shoulder, chest. Daniel's voice cut out. The call ended. David Bever, the father, came to investigate the sounds. When he emerged, Robert stabbed him at least 28 times across torso, neck, arms. April, his mother, suffering horrific trauma, pleaded, tried to protect children. She received more than 48 wounds: neck, face, chest, abdomen. Blunt force trauma among them. The ferocity escalated. Slashes overlapping slashes, repeated strikes, signs of rage, of personal hatred. Above, the youngest, Autumn, aged 2, slept upstairs, oblivious to the bloodshed below. For reasons unclear but miraculous, she escaped harm. Crystal, though gravely injured, dragged herself toward help. She fell in the entrance, blood trailing from outside through the doorway to where she lay, visible to officers even before they entered. The front porch was soaked. Robert and Michael tried to flee. Behind the house is a wooded area. They slipped through the back door, dragging stained shadows. K9 units, alerted by the call and by visible blood trails in the backyard, tracked their scent like a muzzle. They were found under brush, mud on clothes, hands possibly still holding weapons. Robert still had a knife. Michael nearby, breathing heavy. Arrested without further bloodshed at around 12:18 a.m., less than an hour from Daniel's call. By first light, the house was a crime scene like none in Broken Arrow had seen. Walls lined with spatter, hallways smeared, shoes dropped, the smell of iron heavy in the air. The children who survived, Crystal wounded badly, Autumn alive, would become the fragile carriers of what nightmares cannot forget. The community would awaken to tragedy, measured in lives lost, in innocence stolen. Officers forced entry to the Bever home. Blood trailed on porch, yard. Interior was chaotic. Blood spatter on walls, floors, furniture. Knives, hatchets, surgical blades found. Wires, gloves, clothing, body armor. Flash drives and cameras discovered. Evidence that surveillance cameras had been placed in the house, some near rooms where victims later were found. Files on computers and external storage revealed violent fantasies, written plans, video drafts, evidence of potential future mass violence beyond the family. Autopsy reports detailed the severity of wounds. Victims died from multiple sharp force injuries. Some had over 20 stab wounds. April had over 40 injuries, including head, neck. Her wounds showed rage, close contact. David's wounds suggested defensive posture. Younger siblings found in bathrooms, bedrooms. Time of death estimated between late night and early morning. Daniel's 911 call helped investigators trace timeline. Dispatch records, phone logs, neighbor reports of seeing brothers moving about earlier. Packages delivered to the home in days before. Ammunition shipments noted. Courts heard evidence a shipment of about 3,000 rounds of ammo had been ordered to arrive the morning after the murders. Orders for body armor and tactical gear in weeks before. Videos and journals in home showing Robert's desire for notoriety and planning. Michael's defense attempted to portray him as influenced or coerced, citing alleged verbal abuse and isolation. Crystal's testimony detailed her parents' strict discipline, religious discussions about Armageddon, expressions of hate for people outside their community, frequent warnings about evil in the world. Both Robert and Michael were arraigned. Charges: 5 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of assault with intent to kill for Crystal. Robert pleaded not guilty initially, Michael also. Robert Bever eventually pleaded guilty on September 7, 2016 to all counts. Sentence: 6 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole. Michael's trial was held April-May 2018, convicted May 2018, sentenced August 9, 2018 to 5 life sentences plus an additional 28 years for assault on Crystal. Parole eligibility after 225 years, symbolic, effectively no release. During trial, Robert testified that he had lied during police interviews. In court, he said earlier statements were made to sound a certain way. In one segment, he took responsibility for all stabbings. He admitted they planned dismemberment to hide bodies, to record videos, but in many cases claimed amnesia or that he did not remember exactly. Michael's defense stressed influence, youth, supposed mental health issues, but the jury rejected claims that his brother's influence justified his participation. Witnesses during Michael's trial saw evidence photos: Crystal's wounds, slit throat, multiple stabbings in arms and torso, walls soaked, blood pooled. The scale of trauma was overwhelming. Prosecutors argued motive, desire for fame, resentment, isolation, admiration for mass murders. Defense argued mental health, emotional abuse, possibly indoctrination. The jury's verdict was guilty on all counts. Robert in prison continued to show signs of disturbance. Attempted suicide in June 2016. Assaults on prison staff later. Behavior described as cold, detached. Michael's future incarcerations are expected without any realistic chance of release given the duration of sentences. Broken Arrow changed. The Bever home was declared a biohazard. Interior torn out. Contamination hoisted. The property value crashed. The house stood empty. In 2010, it caught fire. Later, the land was cleared, and in March 2019, Reflection Park was dedicated there, a place for memory, grief, healing. Crystal, having survived, not only healed physically, but lives with trauma, surgeries, psychological scars, nightmares. Autumn, though spared physically, faces a life marked by absence and losses. The community in Broken Arrow, neighbors, schoolmates, shops, still speak in hushed tones of that night. The memory of Daniel's call, the discovery of bodies, the symbolism of the youngest child spared, it haunts. Media coverage emphasized horror, but also questions. Could someone have stopped this? Neighbors reflected that the Bever parents were reclusive. Some saw Robert and Michael as distant, odd. Packages, knives, talk online. Yet nobody reported enough to trigger intervention. Laws regarding minors, juvenile justice, mental health assessments all came under scrutiny. Motives remain partially obscured. Robert's admitted desire for fame, to surpass past mass shootings. Michael's role, more ambiguous. The defense claimed abuse, isolation, influence, but evidence of aggression, of planning, of active participation from both persisted. The idea they would kill outside their family, a spree, shows ambition beyond mere rage. Not all plans executed, but dreams of infamy left the gravest scars. Thank you for watching this deep look into the Bever family massacre, the Broken Arrow murders. If this story stayed with you, if it shook something inside, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. These stories, however dark, need to be remembered.